Hey guys, what is up and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking all about the best champions to awaken and dupe in Marvel Contest of Champions and really what makes these champions so great. I've had a lot of requests for this video because people want to know a bit more about kind of the top tier champions and what makes them good. We're going to be going over my basically roster of 3-stars in this video because I have every 3-star in the game at the moment apart from, what is it? It's Venom Paul, that's the only one that I'm missing. So yeah, we've got some great examples and we can actually delve into the signature abilities and explain a little bit more about some of them. So yeah, we're going to go class by class. We're going to start off with the science ones. So in my opinion, there are 3 champions that are really top tier, and that is Electro, Yellow Jacket, and also Spider-Man, and these become incredible when they're duped. So Electro gains critical additional chance to critical hit based on both his power and the opponent's power. So as you can imagine, this ramps up really quickly and gets him almost 100% chance to guarantee when you're kind of sitting at both 2 bars of power. Yellow Jacket basically adds a penalty if his sting abilities are not consumed that stuns the enemy, so it puts anybody fighting Yellow Jacket that get hit by a sting into a bit of an awkward situation where they either need to take a lot of damage or get stunned and then take a lot of hits and thus take a lot of damage. So yeah, that's a really annoying champion, which makes him amazing when he's duped. And then you have Spider-Man, just the classic version, who basically gets a chance to evade based on his kind of awakened level. So it makes him really annoying to fight against and can also save your butt quite often when you are fighting with the champion. Some probably other honorable mentions for good champions are, I would say, Hulk is very good. So the lower health Hulk has, so the more he gets hit, the more he gets enraged, and the more damage he does, obviously based on the signature ability level. Both the Captain Americas get a kind of increased chance to perfect block on 2 different circumstances. So the classic Captain America gets an increased chance to block based on his health, so the lower health he gets, the increased chance to do a perfect block increases, obviously based on his signature ability level. And the Captain America World War II, his perfect block chance increases based on any of the buffs that the enemy has. And pretty much almost every champion in the game has some sort of self buff, or at least I'd say about 70 to 80% of them do. So that's going to be useful at some point in almost every encounter. But that's pretty much it, guys, for what I think are the best 3-star science champions to awaken. We're going to move on to the skill ones. Now, looking at these, I would say the 2 best by far are actually 2 that I haven't ranked up because I was always very unlucky when I started playing the game at pulling skill champions. And I'm at kind of this point in the game where I have so many 4-star champions coming in that I need to spend all my resources leveling them up. So I haven't leveled these 2 up, but they are Black Widow and also Classic Daredevil. So Black Widow, the higher her awakened ability level is, the basically higher chance she has to ignore any beneficial buffs or effects that the opponent does. So for example, like Iron Man, if she's fully duped out and maxed out, then if he's a duped Iron Man and he procs his healing, she's going to completely ignore that and disable it, and you can just continue beating him down. It's crazy good. Against somebody like Electro, who has a damage reflect, again, completely ignores that, so that you're not taking any damage when fighting an Electro. So yeah, pretty crazy champion. Of the classic Daredevil, his duped ability basically gives him a percentage chance to evade projectiles. I believe it goes up to 100% when he's fully duped. So this is crazy for quests like Act 4 when you're fighting Maestro. Some people even fight him with a 3-star Daredevil because kind of the really awkward to avoid beam for his level 1. It just auto-evades if you got him fully maxed out. So yeah, that is pretty crazy. Some other honorable mentions, I would say Black Panther. He does a lot of additional bleed damage when he's duped. Winter Soldier's pretty good. I like his power drain. He's kind of like a Punisher with the power drain. Punisher sucks, so let's not worry too much about him. We got, yeah, apart from that, Moon Knight's alright. His cycle phases get even more powerful, so not a bad champion to dupe. But apart from that, there aren't really too many great skill ones. So yeah, just Daredevil and Black Widow I'd focus on if you got them duped. So mutants, there are so many really good mutants in the game, and a lot of them have really awesome duped abilities. Who's going to be at the top of my list? I'd probably say it's Nightcrawler, Storm, Wolverine, and classic Deadpool. I would say are probably the top 4. All of their duped abilities make the characters insane. So Deadpool's gives him a passive regen all of the time, constantly healing based on his power. So you can literally just set up 3 bars of power and have this incredible like flow of healing come in, which is crazy. Dupe Nightcrawler, every time he does a deep wounds, he gets plus between 15 and I think it's like 40% damage, depending on his dupe level. And this stacks up to 3 times, so yeah, his damage can really quickly ramp up. With Storm, her duped ability basically causes her specials, which are really strong anyway, to hit even harder based on the amount of power that the opponent has. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. And Wolverine just kind of gives him an additional chance to regen. That means this character just, you know, heals like absolutely crazily, which is really good. I would say some other honorable mentions are, to be honest, like they're all really good. I don't think there's a mutant that doesn't have like a pretty good duped ability now. So you have Colossus, which I believe gets additional armor, Cyclops, which is beams deal more damage and also pass certain combos. I think it's 20. Then his beam just breaks blocks, which is crazy cool. So both Magnetos have a duped ability where they can't take over a certain amount of damage in one hit. So if you're ever fighting a boss or enemy that is constantly using its level 3 or gets power really quickly and is using level 3s, that's a good way to only take a very small amount of damage from that level 3. So that is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Mutant Champions. They're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. So Cosmic, there is a very clear winner when it comes to duping your Cosmic Champions and awakening them, and that is 4. A duped 4 is absolutely incredible for every armor. Every time he stuns the opponent, which of course includes parry, applies a crazy armor break, which ranges between 80 to 140% depending on the dupe level. So yeah, ridiculous damage. By far, 4 is number 1 on that list, but other honorable mentions of champions that get really beefed up in terms of damage are Black Bolt, Gamora, Venom, and also Drax. Some really good champions there. Symbiote Spider-Man is a good champion by itself, but doesn't really gain anything too beneficial when it's duped. What else do we have? Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, they gain a little bit of power, but it's just a bit like, meh, who cares? Superior Iron Man, very good for Alliance War defense when he's duped, because he activates that kind of arc overload regeneration, so that's pretty good. Ronan gets additional stun time when he's duped, based on the, buffs of the enemy, so yeah, that's pretty crazy, and it's a tactic used to kind of defeat commonly Venoms that apply lots of buffs to themselves, and also the the Juggernaut on the really annoying node on chapter 4 3.3, something like that. So he's pretty good. But yeah, apart from that, to be honest, all you need to know is like 4 is number 1, and then Venom, Gamora, Black Bolt, and Drax, and Superior Iron Man. I'll put him up there in the top 5. So yeah, let's move on to Tech Champions. So there are 3 that I think are really good. So you got Star-Lord. So every 10 combos, his damage increases by an exponential amount, ranging between about, I think it's 20 to 50%, and just keeps on adding up every time you get a combo of 10. This champion's pretty crazy. And then you have Rocket Raccoon, so for every 10 hits as well. Works like Star-Lord, but instead of increased damage, he gets increased critical chance to hit. So this makes Rocket amazing for bursty fights, as after like 20-30 hits, you are critting every hit. And it's really fun and satisfying to play. Then you finally have Ultron, who, what he does when he's duped is converts all energy damage to both health and power. So that makes him really good when fighting stuff like Magnetos, Doctor Stranges, any champions that use a lot of energy attacks, he's a really good counter to. Just looking at the other champions, some honorable mentions mentions, I would say, is regular Iron Man. The Arc Overload is awesome. Vision, just the regular Vision, this one, is good. Symphon's power from the enemies. The Age of Ultron Vision, Symphon's power on special abilities, which is kind of useful, but not as good as the regular Vision, so that's kind of the priority there. War Machine, Hulkbuster, get a bit more of defensive stuff, but you know, it's not super great. It's like a little bit more to the champion. Again, with Iron Patriot and Civil Warrior, a little bit more defense, but in all, like, they're not as OP as Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, and Ultron, in my opinion. So, finally, we are on to Mystic Champions. And Mystic Champions, wow, when they're duped, I think all of them are pretty great. They go from, like, really good to great, and pretty much every Mystic Champion has an amazing Awakened ability. So let's start off with the top one, which is, of course, the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is crazy good when she's awakened, so her critical hits have a chance to do one of 8 random effects, which range from stunning the enemy, healing yourself, getting more crit damage, more damage, putting weakness on the enemy, draining their power. So yeah, a lot of cool and crazy stuff can happen, so she's definitely the top champion to awaken there. Some really other honorable, like, really good mentions, I'd say Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange gets a counter spell, which means that he's just going to be constantly purging and removing buffs from your enemy. Really awesome. Lady 4, or 4 Jane Foster, so whenever the opponent is stunned, which obviously you can do via parry, they are all of your attacks are guaranteed to critically hit and deal a certain amount more damage, so that is really cool. What else do we have? Guillotine has a bit of a health steal based on the amount of souls she has, so that's good for kind of sustainable combat. Juggernaut and Unstoppable Colossus gain the Unstoppable whenever they use a special, which is really annoying to fight against and really fun to fight with. Iron Fist gains an armor break on all his critical hits, which now the willpower has been removed, is absolutely awesome at tearing through the enemies. Loki, whenever he's below 1 bar of power, is going to kind of just quickly regen to the first bar, so that's really good. It means you can constantly fire off specials. And Magic has a rewind ability, so whenever she takes damage, she has a chance to just quickly rewind and heal back that damage. Really good. So overall, wow, Mystic Champions, really good. I don't think there's any Mystic Champion that you can be upset about duping. Like, they're all really good options. So guys, we've pretty much covered every champion in the game very lightly. The ones that I haven't spoke about, or maybe you've ignored, is probably because I think they're quite bad or don't really add much to the champion. I'd be very interested now to get your kind of thoughts and opinions on what you believe are the best champions to awaken. Do you agree with the video? Do you have a different opinion? And if so, why? You know, explain a bit about what you feel are the best champions for you to awaken. Apart from that, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like. Those really help me out. Apart from that, if you want to see more awesome Marvel Contest of Champions content, hit the subscribe button down below. It's gonna make your day repeatedly. Like, we got tons of new videos coming out every day that are really useful. Apart from that, guys, take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.